Good evening, Ananda. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Blessings of Almighty. We shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating Consumer Awareness Week in US from April 11 to 15. As we all are consumers for one or more other products, services, or organizations. We are consumers of nature. We are consumers of environment. And we consume various products and services as part of our life process and day-to-day activities. So even the recent Supreme Court judgment has included, that we are responsible as a citizens of India. We are also having the fundamental right to adverse effects of climate change. So it is the duty of policymakers, governments, and various organizations and stakeholders to protect the right to life and opportunities and various fundamental rights which are impacted by the adverse effects of the climate change. But that's just one side of the coin or just one aspect. But who are the real culprits who are causing the climate change? It is the human beings. Human beings and various human activities are being the consumers of nature, environment, and natural resources, along with artificial resources that are being created, generated, and utilized and disposed. It is the consumer that is responsible, along with the producers. Here, the consumer is also becoming the producer. The consumer is deciding the demand as well as the supply. So consumer, as is generating more demand and creating more supply as well in the form of waste generation, it is the responsibility of the consumer as such. Because here, the consumer, producer, All are human beings. So no matter today, entire world is paying for climate change. Today we are seeing, cities in Bangalore city has run out of water, drinking water. And similar such cases have been seen at various places. Now, cities like various metro cities, now especially in states, in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh and many other states, even in Bangalore, Tamil Nadu, and various other states are facing extreme heat wave. Human body or humans cannot endure more than 40 degrees Celsius. But now the temperatures are crossing 40 and somewhere around 40 to 43, and soon is going to reach 50 and may cross also 50, because we have summer till June, and this is going to continue over a period of time. Thanks to the depression that some states there is expected spell, due to which though there is a similarity we can see across few places, but at the same time we can evidence the heat wave as well as the temperatures that are cooling down temporarily due to this depression. And we also have seen the surge of climate change and impact cases like sunstroke, especially due to heat wave. I have personally seen, among our colleagues, we have seen almost 10 of the people have died because of sunstroke. So due to of this extreme stroke, extreme heat, people are getting affected and are losing their lives due to sunstroke. So in similar way, consumers have to be very responsible about what they are demanding, what they need. It is not always like, something is available in the product, in the market, and consumers indiscriminately choose them and consume them. Because at the end of the day, consumer is the king. He is the one who decides. And based on his demand and supply, based on his or her demand, the supply continues. If there is no demand, automatically the product or the service will perish from the market. We have seen many products or services or even organizations that have perished from the market because of no demand. So now, no matter, it is the responsibility, the first responsibility lies with the consumer. What kind of product, what kind of service he or she is expecting and demanding. Because if he or she is not conscious about what kind of services or products and what kind of impact it is going to create on themselves, their families, communities, nations, and on planet at large, the pandemics will be a norm, and the climate change is going to become more severe and severe. And because of these kind of human activities, we are going to pay much more in coming years. Every year there is a growing trend of temperatures. You can see the trend is increasing every year, and this every year it is crossing 40 plus, that is 40 plus degrees Celsius temperature means it's a hazard for the human beings. So we are talking in the context of extinction of human beings. soon human beings also will become extinct. So we, as consumers, humans as being the producers as well as the consumers, have to be very conscious of these aspects. Otherwise, soon there will be a drastic effects of all these accumulated together in the form of climate change, where there will be scarcity of water. Already in villages, in cities, metro cities, cosmopolitan cities, people are drinking bottled water. No, there is no natural source of water now. Already there is a huge scarcity of water, which is naturally available, which is naturally drinking water, because the rivers, lakes are being polluted by human activities, industrial activities, automobile activities, agricultural activities, without proper concern that they are polluting their own drinking water sources. As a consumers, as a producers, they have failed completely to foresee the future and are now paying now for the acts they are doing. And they are not learning lessons. That is aggravating the problem. So, as we are commemorating Consumer Awareness Week, which takes place from April 11th to 15th, this day aims to educate consumers and as well as buyers about their basic rights. This includes access to information regarding the goods and products they are purchasing, including services. The sellers are enforced by law to reveal the ingredients they are using in their products. And they also have to follow certain guidelines regarding the quality and standard of the product being sold. If any of the above stated rules are broken, the seller is answerable to the court of law. Consumers are powerful, and many laws has been passed to protect them from being exploited. So this is a wonderful opportunity to know about consumer rights. And it is also a wonderful opportunity. Now it is high time that every product or service also should mention the kind of environmental impact it is creating as part of its manufacturing process, delivery, and also utilization and disposal. In the entire life cycle of the product or service, we have to bring a new act or a law that makes it mandatory to specify for each product or a service to mention in qualitative as well as quantitative terms the kind of environment impact it is created as part of the entire life process from start to end, that is from raw materials to disposal or recycling of the product or service. Unless and until, why this is important? Because when consumers know the kind of impact, environmental impact it is creating, how it is aggravating, accelerating climate change, consumer is also not completely aware, and it will not serve for making an informed decision. So we can always make choices, but we cannot make the choice of consequences that arise out of our choices. So we can take decisions, but we cannot choose the consequences of decisions. So we have to be very careful when we are choosing our choices or decisions, because based on that, there will be consequences. For every choice we make, For every decision we make, every move we make, every thought process will always have a consequence. And that consequences cannot be chosen or decided. So, consumer awareness refers to consumers' understanding of consumer protection regulations designed to safeguard their interests. These regulations were created to ensure that business manufacture high quality items that do not endanger the health and safety of their customers. The right to safety, which protects consumers from products that may hurt their physical or mental health, is one of the consumer awareness rights. The right to information clause makes it illegal to force a client to choose a product, while the right to choose clause makes it mandatory for the packaging to state the data that should be informed to the customer or consumer. Consumer can use the right to be heard to make a complaint about the product that hasn't met their expectations, and the right to seek redressal to have unsatisfactory goods replaced or refunded. Last but not least, the right to consumer education ensures that consumers have access to all information and are thoroughly informed about the government's rights and responsibilities. An evolution in consumer rights and awareness took place in 1986 in the West with the enactment of the Consumer Protection Act 1986. With this act, laws were created and implemented by the government for the consumers. John F. Kennedy also gained recognition for his speech against consumer harassment. He also encouraged people to increase awareness of consumer laws, including consumer rights like choice, information, safety, and right to be heard. A variety of food items become accessible to the masses with increasing accessibility since 19th century. The International Organization for Standardization, ISI, is established, setting standards in 1947. John F. Kennedy gives the modern Declaration about Consumer Rights in 1962. The United Nations Guidelines for Consumer Protection, in short known as UNGCP, are drafted in 1985. Consumers must be aware of the products and other innovations in the market, which is a responsibility of consumers. Consumer awareness includes one's right to be informed about the quality and standard of the product. Consumer responsibilities include critical awareness, action, social concern, environmental awareness, and solidarity. So dozens of events are held across the country and the world to increase consumer awareness. To be part of the enlightened lot, sign up for various such events like this and gather as much as information and also contribute as much as you can in gaining and also sharing your knowledge and insights and knowing about your rights. Just because you are an aware consumer does not mean everyone else is too. So promote the cause. There are still many individuals who are clueless about their basic rights. Use this week to reach out to people and explain the rights to them. If you are aware of certain consumers' rights you believe need to be promoted, start making graphics and illustrations and post them on your online or social media, which helps educating people quickly. And you can do your part in promoting the cause. A customer can return a product in 14 days after the delivery as per EU legislation on returns. A customer can get a product replaced if they are not satisfied with it. The trader is responsible for any product sent by the courier. So if The Services Directive on Discrimination, it is prohibited to refuse service based on the grounds of nationality or place of residence of the recipient. So the consumer may approach the District Consumer Protection Council under circumstance of no dealer, no service provider response. Consumers have several rights that they are not aware of. Hence, during this week, an extra effort is made to ensure consumers across the country are educated regarding their basic rights for goods and services they pay for. The Awareness Week plays a role of protecting consumers by educating them about the regulations a certain company has to follow. An aware consumer can then fight for his or her rights. When a seller knows that the consumers are named, the probability of fooling the customer for profit increases. Since awareness weeks such as these strengthen the customers, company pay extra effort in ensuring no rules that can welcome a lawsuit are broken. Today is also commemorated as Dog Therapy Appreciation Day in US. Every year on April 11th, it is celebrated to appreciate the dogs who comfort us by being therapy dogs. Therapy dogs go through a rigorous testing program before they become certified. With their certification, they become eligible to visit hospitals and nursing homes to give comfort to people. Therapy dogs are usually at first pets who receive training and then become therapy dogs. Being around dog makes everyone happy, and on this day we thank dogs for making us happy. Animal assisted therapy has been used way back since ancient Greeks and earlier. Even in India, we can see animal therapy, though it is not used in that name. Animals are part of family, cattle. So they share a close bond between the animals and they treated them as family members. So there was an effective therapy, sharing and expression of emotions, feelings, and working together, contributing together as a family. It is a great bond that Indian families or Indian societies have given the wonderful gift to the world in the form of animal therapies. So in 1600s in the West, physicians used horses to improve the physical and mental health of patients. Florence Nightingale in the 1800s observed that pets can reduce levels of anxiety and stress in adults. A wave of informal experiments which involved animals' interaction with humans began to produce a calming effect on patients suffering from anxiety. Sigmund Freud became intrigued with the connection between humans and animals and developed the idea of human-animal bond. His theory described that humans need interaction with animals and nature to normalize daily life. Freud is known to use his pet to calm his patients. In the 1940s, the American Red Cross used farm animals to treat war veterans suffering from injury or illness. Veterans would take care of the farm animals to ease their minds and not think about the gruesome war. In the 1960s, Dr. Boris Levinson discovered that his dog positively affected mentally impaired young patients. He also noticed that the patients were more comfortable and social with their dogs than with other humans. According to some studies, having a pet can help you live longer and happier life. Dogs can reduce the risk of heart disease, and for those who have suffered heart disease, owning a dog or a cat decreases the risk of another heart attack. In the 1600s, physician uses horses to improve the physical and mental health of patients. In 1600s, Florence Nightingale in the 1800s observed that pets can reduce levels of anxiety and stress in adults. In 1940s, the American Red Cross uses farm animals to treat war veterans suffering from injury or illness. In 1960s, Dr. Bonds Levinson discovers that his dog had a positive effect on mentally impaired young patients. So, what is a therapy dog? A therapy dog is a dog that is trained to administer therapy, and they volunteer in schools, nursery homes, hospitals to provide comfort to the people. And they go through stringent training and certification and then certified as a therapy dog. Studies show that they can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. Any pet, it can be cow also, doesn't matter. Dogs are great at elevating mood and relaxing people. Why we normally refer to dogs are because they are widely popular, they are easily habituated and petted, and you can adopt an indie dog even from the street and you can keep it in your homes. So that's why we commonly refer to dog as a pet. It doesn't mean the dog is the only pet. So celebrate this day by petting a dog or any pet animal or a bird, showing it some love. Petting a dog not only makes you happy and healthy, but also makes the dog feel love. Even if you can't keep any animals that need, maintenance. The low maintenance is you can have some fishes or aquatic animals in aquarium, though aquarium also require certain amount of maintenance, but not regularly, except feeding. Nowadays, we have auto feeders available and good water filters and various other equipments that require almost zero maintenance. So once in a while, you have to get it clean or water replaced, which can be done by yourself, or you can engage an expert to take up the maintenance. Otherwise, generally based on the size of the tank and number of living species in the fish tank, generally it may not require if the tank is larger and the species are very less. Generally, you may require weekly once or monthly once or fortnightly. It all depends again on the size of the tank and the quality of filters, the amount of feed, the amount of species available, the size, the kind of species. So based on your time availability, you can choose accordingly so that the minimum maintenance, the ideal maintenance can be as little as once in a month or 15 days a month. So, but you can get the benefit every moment, every second by looking at them, by gazing at them, staring at them, or spending your time and get yourself relaxed. So that's the minimum thing you can do, which requires very less maintenance. But also take care of the feeding and observe if there are any changes and try to immediately address the changes with an expert. So celebrate a pet, adopt a pet, appreciate therapy dogs for their hard work. Make sure you give them the treats they deserve. And you can also train your pets for therapy based on, if they can be trained. Not every breed of dog can be trained to that extent. Some dogs, some breeds are born for that because they are genetically having traits. Some dogs are not intended for certain purposes because of their genetic material. But every dog or every pet, based on its own genetic makeup and depending on the species, they can be trained to some extent. So you can get your dog trained for therapy or a guide dog and get certified as well, or you can train by your own with some tricks which are available. You can take an expert guidance, or you can get yourself be trained as part of official trainer program, or you can, as a hobby, you can learn to train a dog, to train your own dogs, or you can use online resources to learn how to guide or train your dogs. Though in the West, Ellen Smith was the first to establish a therapy dog program in 1976, which was the first formal therapy dog program in the West. About 81.8% of children with autistic symptoms prefer to play with dogs over anything else, and they can access normal human emotions when playing with the pets. So, dogs can help ease autism symptoms and many other diseases and disorders in improving psychological, emotional health, as well as dogs require some movement, mobility. It will also improve physical health by increasing the metabolic activity of the body. Even strays and shelter dogs with proper training can be therapy dogs. As I mentioned, you can adopt, you can pick up some litter from the stray dogs and you can adopt one from it, so that you will also be giving a family to an animal, to a dog, and also you have the benefits of having a pet. As I already mentioned, it all depends on the animal's temperament and how well they can adjust to the training. But in general, any dog can be a therapy dog, but again, it requires, some dogs require less effort, some require more efforts. And dogs can help children read. Dogs pair up with children with learning disabilities, and children read in front of them, which provides a judgment-free zone. See, often, no matter how much conscious we are, especially with the children, we keep judging them, pointing out them, and we keep correcting them, basically. That is a minimum thing we keep doing. We keep correcting them so that they do not repeat, they identify, they know their mistakes. But often, especially with learning disabilities, you need a lot of patience. Now, you need to enjoy, appreciate, slowly help them improve. Often, over a period of time, you tend to become more judgmental, judging each and every. In that environment, children may not prosper. They feel offended, they feel being judged. So it may not always help. So when children read with pets, they also enjoy activity. And because they don't judge, they also feel it is an activity and it can encourage them. And pet greatly improves mental health, psychological health, emotional health, and also social. 74% of the pet owners come and claim that animals helped in improving their mental health. Is they appreciate animals and their impact on our lives. This day is to show love to our fur babies. The animal-human bond is very vital and is unlike anything else. This day encourages deepening the bond between humans and animals. This day raises awareness about the positive impact of dog therapy on people. It spreads information about how vital is it for people. Today is also commemorated as National Parkinson's Day or World Parkinson's Day. So every year it is observed on April 11th to raise awareness about the medical condition. Parkinson's remains a somewhat unknown condition and its severity is not known to most people. What is well known is the Parkinson's is a disorder that afflicts the nervous system. It hampers the movement and is often characterized by tremors. And this day aims to increase awareness among people and get us all to get together and help those in need. Extensive research is also encouraged in order to get us closer to the cure of the condition. Components of possible Parkinson's disease are available in early documents, but the first clear medical description was written in 1870 by James Parkinson. Fragments of the description of Parkinson can be found in earlier descriptions, such as Sylvius de la Bois' description of res tremor in 1680 and Savage's description of fascination in 1768. Earlier Indian and Chinese documentaries in 1000 BC provided descriptions of Parkinson's. Early treatment of Parkinson's were based on empirical observations, and anticholinergic drugs were used in 19th century. In the mid-1800s, Jean-Martin Charcot was very influential in refining and expanding this description, and he has determined information internationally about Parkinson's. Charcot and his students described the clinical spectrum of the disease and noted 2 prototypes, and they produced a full detailed description of the arithmetic changes. Dysautonomia and pain can accompany Parkinson's disease. Charcot first suggested the term Parkinson's disease in the 1960s. The chemical differences in Parkinson's patients' brains were identified, and researchers found the low levels of dopamine and degeneration of nerve cells in the part of a brain. This helped make effective treatment of Parkinson's disease with dopamine agonists possible. Levodopa in the 1960s was administered to treat the symptoms of Parkinson's, and still it is most widely used medicine. So the red tulip signifies Parkinson's disease awareness. So the color of the ribbon is red tulip. So World Parkinson's Day, as already informed, is being celebrated, commemorated, and observed to raise awareness about the condition of Parkinson's. According to medics, pain is a common symptom of Parkinson's disease. Research and read up about the disease, find out more about disease so that you can share with others and spread awareness. Spread awareness about the disease. Parkinson's remains unknown to many people, and it's time to raise awareness about the disease. Help suffering or people suffering from Parkinson's disease in any way possible. Donate or volunteer to help people. There is no cure. The cause of Parkinson's is largely unknown, and there is no cure, but treatments vary for the condition based on the symptomatic treatment. Based on the symptoms. Condition. people don't have the same symptoms. The symptoms progress differently for different people. Change in handwriting, in which handwriting becomes smaller or crowded over time, and the loss of smell of foods is another symptom, which are early signs of Parkinson's. Exercise can help in improving many of the Parkinson's symptoms. The Centers of Excellence comprises 47 international leading medical centers, which are staffed by renowned Parkinson's disease specialists, and they are designated centers to treat it. So it spreads awareness, it's a noble cause, it brings community together. It is vital for the treatment of Parkinson's disease. As a very noble cause of helping people with Parkinson's, it helps raise funds for the needy and pushes for the cure. This day brings the community together to fight Parkinson's disease. People come together to help people with Parkinson's. Today is also commemorated as National Pet Day in US. National Pet Day is celebrated on April 11th. Although, if you are a pet owner, you know there's not a day that goes by that you don't celebrate your animal companion. So hug your hedgehog, bond with your bunny, cut your kitty, some catnip, or whichever pet you have a lot of companionship that makes you happy. And that's not all. Over the past 10 years, the National Institute of Health has been a partner in research to determine the physical and mental benefits of having a pet. It turns out that not only can pets steal our hearts, but also contribute to overall cardiovascular health by lowering cortisol, cholesterol, and blood pressure levels. Cats, dogs, birds, and even tigers, our furry friends, are celebrated. Whatever may be, all pets are celebrated on this National Pet Day on April 11th. Colleen Peck, animal welfare advocate and pet and family lifestyle expert, founded National Pet Day in 2006 to celebrate the joy pets can bring to us. But she wanted to bring attention to the ongoing needs of many pets of all kinds waiting in shelters to be adopted. She encouraged people who want pure breed dogs and cats to contact rescue organizations instead of going to a breeder. Don't shop, adopt has become the holiday motto. In 1973, the Humane Society of the United States estimated that 13 million cats and dogs enter shelters every year. Some were strays, some were surrendered by owners who could no longer care for them. Some were seized in legal actions. Today, according to American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, approximately 6.5 million companion animals enter shelters nationwide, and 1.6 million cats and 1.6 million dogs find their forever homes. Collins holiday got its start in the US, but it soon expanded internationally. Pet lovers now mark the day in UK, Ireland, Italy, New Zealand, Australia, Israel, Spain, Guam, Scotland, and many more nations. Celebrities have taken up cause National Pet Day has been promoted by Taylor Swift, Ellen DeGeneres, Ricky Gervais, CeeLo Green, Jimmy Fallon, Bill Nelson, Kevin Bacon, Seth Meyers, and Carrie Underwood, among others. Social media has helped to spread the celebration and to promote Colin's cause. When President Barack Obama was in office, he won political hearts on both sides of Hazel with his posted pic of Bo, one of two Portuguese water dogs who shared the White House with him. Bo was rehomed when he couldn't get along with an older dog owned by a family in Texas. The dog collar is believed to have been invented in Mesopotamia based on a wall painting depicting a man with a collared dog on Elish around 3500 BC. Phoenician traders bring the first domesticated cats to Europe in 9900 BC. In the West, Henry Bergh founds the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in New York after witnessing a carriage driver in Russia beating a fallen horse 3 years earlier in 1866 and dogged offender. Japanese feline Maru is certified as the most viewed animal on YouTube after 10 years of diving into boxes in 2017. The popular pets across the world, as per their ranking, dog at top 1, 45%, cat at top 2, 30%, fish at top 3, 9%, bird at top 4, example parakeet, cockatiel, parrot, etc. at 5%, top 5 at top 5 hamster, gerbil, mouse 2%, top 6 horse 2%, top 7 snake 2%, top 8 guinea pig 1%, top 9 lizard, example iguana, chameleon, gecko, etc. at 1%, and top 10th pet is tarantula 1%. So most of them are dogs and cats, occupying around 75 to 80%. So furry babies are spoiled to the fullest on this National Pet Day. Owners go all out to lavish their pets with the adoration and the care they deserve. Well, more than on any other day. Of course, daily happens. Taking them out for a walk or a drive, buying their favorite treats, or getting them a new toy to play with are just some ways that pets are spoiled just a little extra on this day. Going by the numbers, the percentage by which owning a dog decreases the risk of death by heart disease is 36%. The percentage of owners allergic to their pets are 10%. 57% of American households own at least one pet according to the pet ownership statistics. The number of tigers kept as pets in the US are around 5,000 to 7,000 captive tigers. The percentage of families with an autistic child who benefited from having a pet is 94%. The percentage of people who would rather cuddle with their pet rather than their partner is 44%. The number of stray dogs in the world is more than 200 million. The number of animals who die in the shelters every year is more than 2 million. The percentage of healthy dogs euthanized in Canadian shelters in 2007 and almost every year is 9%. The percentage of pets found within a day when the owner was looking for them is 90%. The percentage of people who have to part with their dogs, pets due to residential restrictions is around 29%. So adopt a pet and remember you are not limited to dogs and cats. You can adopt any pet as long as you can gift him or her a happy home. Choose animals based on your resources, space, availability, and other factors. House rabbits are easily litter trained. Reptiles are quiet. Some birds will talk to you. And as already mentioned, fishes are quiet and low maintenance. So choose as per your time, availability of resources. Convince your cutie to pose, pounce, pout, or play with piano, and launch the next digital diva, posting it on social media. So pamper your pooch. In the US, 67% of the households have a pet, and they spend approximately $75 billion a year on these pet care and products. Pets are part of the family, even in India also, as already mentioned. And also in the West, in 2016, Harris poll showed that 95% of the pet owners says their pets are part of family. That's an increase of 7 points from 2007. Only a pet will chase a ball for you, pounce on a laser point, or nibble carrots from your hand. Enjoy watching your hamster stuff its cheeks, your guinea pig chewing up a DP tube, or your ferret frolic in its hammock. Your guinea pig will probably pee in your lap, but it's so cute. Today is also commemorated as National Submarine Day in US. It celebrates the purchase of USS Holland, the first modern commissioned submarine. This day is important to the submarine community as it honors the US Navy's purchase of their first modern submarine. But life underwater isn't all that glamorous. Often crews are out of sea for months at a time and return when food supplies run low. Subs can be cramped with tedious tasks to compete daily, and some might not always be the best of friends with everybody on board. And on board, it's not just enemies under sea they have to be contended with. National Submarine Day celebrates the United States government purchase of the Holland 6, but it actually wasn't the first submarine of the US had. The USS Alligator was the first known submarine owned by the United States. On August 10, 1832, Brutus Villeroy completed work on his submarine, possibly called the Nautilus, and showcased his invention off the coast of France. At that time, the submarine was known as a fish boat that measured 10 feet 6 inches in length and 3 feet 7 inches at the widest diameter. The fish boat submerged, reaching depths of 20 feet, and it was an impressive display. In 1861, Villeroy designed the USS Alligator that the United States sank in the ocean on April 2nd, 1863, after losing a battle with the brutal storm. On April 11, 1900, the US government purchased the Holland 6 for $150,000, designed by Irish-American inventor John Philip Holland, and commissioned on October 12, 1900. It was commanded by Lieutenant H.H. Caldwell and deemed the first modern submarine with a host of impressive components, all in one vessel. It had dual propulsion systems, a fixed longitudinal center of gravity, separate main and auxiliary ballast systems, a hydrodynamically advanced shape, and a modern weapon system. It's reported that the Holland 6 was decommissioned on November 21st, 1910, and marked an important breakthrough for the US Navy. Senator Thomas J. Dodd introduced a bill to the US Senate in 1969 that would make April 11 National Submarine Day. President Richard Nixon was in office at that time, and there were no records of this proclamation. It might have passed the Senate and introduced it to the House in 1970, but the exact date is unclear. All the same, the US Navy and other organizations celebrated the day that commemorated the Holland 6 and contributors to the modern warfare it trained. A submarine day lasts 18 hours and is split into three 6-hour shifts. So a submarine may work for 6 hours and train, maintain equipment, or sleep for 12 hours. They provide intelligence, underwater protection for surface ships, and can detect and lay mines more efficiently than any other Navy vessel. Submarines provide a means to land special forces in hostile regions and, if fitted with suitable weapons, can strike land targets. Sanitary tanks inside the pressure hull hold the wastewater from toilets, showers, etc., and are usually pumped overboard. Submarines can also empty some of the sanitary tanks by pressurizing them and discharging them overboard. Have you ever thought about what life is like on submarine? Get an idea of sea life by going on a tour of a real submarine. You will learn firsthand about the duties on board, the challenges they face, how submarines operate, and you can visualize what life would be like a submarine. If you are a fan of history, visiting Navy Museum is a perfect place to go for all the information you desire. Learn to epic battles and operations and the naval events that change the course of the history. You'll get your questions answered by experts who have all the information at their disposal. If you can't tour a submarine or a Navy museum, go to virtual tour from home. Online videos are the next best thing. Conduct your own research and deep dive into specific naval history that piques your curiosity. Using online videos, if you want an even more relaxing experience, have a submarine movie day, The Hunt for Red October, U-571, and more to get Hollywood's take on submarine action. The submarine is also a type of sandwich made with a long roll of bread, vegetables, and spreads. Up until 2010, women could not be assigned to submarine crews because of limited habitability and privacy on board a submarine. Many of John Holland's ideas couldn't be applied to the submarine at the time, and they had to wait for the nuclear power to include them in the design. The first known submarine was created in 1620 by Cornelis Rebel. The German epic film Das Boot by director Wolfgang Petersen is considered by many as the best submarine film ever made. Without the battles that have been waged at sea, the course of world history would be remarkably different. World War II, the Korean War, and the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971 all used submarines with varying results. Had the US Navy had not been so formidable, modern day society would have taken a different shape. There's no mistaking that submarines are fascinating because by their design, they are elusive. These vessels sink into unfathomable depths as they roam through the waters, gathering data and completing covert missions. It's no wonder why there are so many movies about them. There's something mysterious about them. The sheer might be United States Navy is impressively and commands respect, being the best navy in the world. Without a doubt, the United States has the most powerful naval force in all the world, with over 3 lakh active personnel and another 1 lakh in reserve, because they hold the top spot. They are on the constant mission to advance their operations to keep it at that way, and they are always in conflicts and wars. You can see the major wars are always part of the US Army. All the major wars fought on this planet includes US Army. Today is also commemorated as National Protein Day, which is celebrated every year in many cities, including Toronto, Ottawa, Quebec, New Hampshire, and Montreal, and also in US. The dish was created in Quebec by mistake and it just caught up and became iconic meal that was quickly accepted. The dish became so popular in Canada that it was declared their national food. So this day promotes Canadian culture and bringing people together, their love for food. Many restaurants serve different variations of meal and people take opportunity to share and enjoy. Today is also commemorated as National Marketing Operations Appreciation Day in US. Celebrates the individuals and technology that help marketing teams thrive. Started by the workflow automation leader, Zapier, the day recognizes the work that goes into great marketing campaigns. It also creates awareness about the importance of automation in marketing operations, planning, execution, and reporting, allowing marketers to focus on what matters the most. Started by Zapier in 2022, National Marketing Operations Appreciation Day honors the marketing managers, analysts, specialists who power the business marketing strategies. Marketing ops professionals create and maintain the tools and systems that marketing teams use to develop and execute successful campaigns. Marketing operations as a concept have been used around since marketers started trying to better understand their audience in the early part of the 20th century. But as the tools and data available to the marketing teams have evolved, especially in the past 2 decades, marketing ops have quickly expanded into a defined field. Since 2011, Zapier has been supporting marketing operation systems to help teams run efficiently and focus on the human side of marketing. The no-code interface allows anyone, regardless of technical ability, to automate marketing ops workflows from managing use data to triggering email campaigns. Today is also commemorated as National 8-Track Tape Day to explain the confused millennials and Gen Zs what it is. You know, it was the hottest technology from mid 1960s to the early 1980s, and you love remembering all those sweet jams you listened to with your 8-track from that era. 8-track 8-track tape was designed by a jet plane designer, while William Povell Lear is the best known for his jet. The Learjet, he also developed a way to create 8 channels, tracks of magnetic recording tape. The invention revolutionized music technology, the way we hear our tunes just for a little while. The 8-track tape had really only existed in the United States from the mid 1960s to the late 1980s when cassette tapes took over. With Lair's new device, the 8-track tape, it was possible to record one continuous loop of tape and wind it into a cartridge without damaging sound quality. The automobile industry was quick to capitalize on the new trend and install 8-track players in their new lines of vehicles in 1966. Ford offered both factory-installed and dealer-installed 8-track players in its luxury vehicles, and Chrysler and General Motors followed suit by 1967. In 1966, over 65,000 players were sold and their 8-track was becoming an important part of driving in America. In fact, the convenience and portability enjoyed in the car began to spread into home and more. The 8-track soon transcended driving culture as it was brought to parks and beaches across the nation. In 1978, 8-track manufacturing was brought to Europe, though the attempt was largely unsuccessful and the company failed in just 4 short years. Vintage 8-tracks can still be found in the UK, West Germany, Italy, and more. The first karaoke machine was actually made from an 8-track. So the fame of 8-track was on the rise for a decade. Competitors who created smaller cassette tapes found methods of increasing quality, and the ease of damaging and decreasing quality of 8-track drove consumers to embrace the new decade of music technology. The smaller cassette, which was only a third the size of 8-track tape, was already favored. By the mid 70s, retail stores stopped selling 8-track tapes in the 1980s, and by 1988, the last famous album released on 8-track had come and gone. The one stunning piece of technology became a footnote in the history books, but many fans of the era of music and culture can still dig up an old 8-track tape in attic and recall fond memories of hitting the open roads, listening to the favorite tunes. Today is also commemorated as National Clean Up Your Pantry Day in US. Usually we buy far more things than we require. It happens pretty occasionally because as we keep shopping for more pantry items remain unused and are eventually stuffed into closets and drawers. This leads to the storage of far more foodstuff than we are able to consume before products expire. At a point, we can no longer keep a track of those items, which simply means more wastage. The National Clean Up Your Pantry Day, explore your pantry, look up unused and expired items, and donate spare stuff to the needy. A pantry is a dedicated space, a room, or a cabinet where items related to kitchen are stored. These items can be beverages, food, utensils, cleaning supplies, linens, and groceries. The term pantry was first used during the Middle Ages to refer to domestic spaces. Colonists in New England used to store food in a buttery, which was a small room near a kitchen. The first buttery was an underground room in the Theron Boyd homestead in Hartford, US in 1786. The butler's pantry was popular in England and America during 1800s. Practical Housekeeper magazine published a quote by Mrs. Elizabeth Elliot in 1857. Let there be a place for every object, and when not in use, let every article be in its place. So in 1869, Catherine Beecher and Harriet Beecher Stowe published a fundamental work that endorsed the ideas of incorporating the pantry into the kitchen called the American Women's Home. The Boston Cooking School magazine was established in 1896 under the influential home economics movement that inspired American housewifery and kitchen design. During the 1920s and 1930s, as the pantry expanded in size with more shelves and cupboards, the increasingly fashionable breakfast nook began to displace pantries in the kitchen layout. By the 1960s, floor-to-ceiling cabinets became a part of American kitchen design. There, 3 decades later, during the 1990s, a preference for separate storage spaces led to a noticeable resurrection to the use of pantries across America. According to a 2005 poll by National Association of Home Builders, walk-in pantries were the most liked kitchen feature in America homes that year. So the guiding principle is very simple: give what you can and only take what you require. A pantry requires cleaning once every 3 months. Cleaning and arranging your pantry cabinets is a great way to commemorate the occasion, sort out your pills and food items, replenish the required products, discard the expired ones, and donate the usable but outdated pieces. If you have extra pantry items that aren't about to expire, donate them to a food drive. Various food drive groups like Stamp Out, Hunger accept donations in food and cash. To make a difference, post pictures of your pantry before and after cleaning it. Use the hashtag to inspire others. Pantries vary in size. A pantry can be as small as a cupboard or a wall mounted shelf or as big as a walk in closet. Traditionally, silver serving pieces and other such things were stored in the butler's pantry. The word pantry is derived from the French word panterie, which means pain. Perishable and non perishable food products are stored in food pantries. Pantries store more than just food, they are house personal care goods, cleaning materials, and other necessities. Cleaning out your pantry can be therapeutic experience. Sorting and organizing food items allows you to take stock of what you need and what you don't or ever will. Oftentimes, a lot of unfinished and unopened canned foods go waste. Cleaning out your cupboard will help you identify items that can be used to assist someone in need. It's easy to forget about the tangy tropical sauce you bought that is now lying unopened somewhere in your pantry when the space is unorganized and messy. Check your cupboard before buying the second bottle. You'll save money, time, and free condiments in the process. Today is also commemorated as National Cheese Fondue Day. Since cheese is such a popular and delicious ingredient, this day recognizes a food day that many enjoy. Fondue is a dish of melted cheese or other ingredients served in a communal pot known as quaculon. This pot is placed over a small portable stove known as the retort. People then dip the bread into the cheese using long stemmed forks. And vegetables may also be dipped into the cheese. Cheese fondue consists of a blend of cheese, seasoning. It's a common delicacy that is available at most restaurants and can be easily made at home. Today is also commemorated as International Louis Day. This commemorates the recording of Louis Louis, which is one of the most recorded songs in rock and roll history. April 11th was chosen because Richard Berry, the composer of Louis Louis, celebrates his birthday on the same date. The song has been covered by several bands and received numerous awards. After Take Me Out to the Ball Game in Seattle Mariners games, it was included in the 500 greatest songs of all time listing by Rolling Stone magazine. Today is also commemorated as Grand National in UK, United Kingdom, which is observed every year in April each year. It takes place this year. It takes place from April 14, 11 to 14. So the Grand National Festival in Europe, most valuable gem prize with the 1 million pounds prize, euros prize, is a fund in 2017. This race has grown in popularity even among those who do not watch or bet on horse racing or at other times of the year. The race takes place on a course with substantially larger fences than those found on traditional national hunt courses. The barriers, when combined with the distance covered by the horses, represents the ultimate test for both horses and riders. Those who can't make it to entry race course in the United Kingdom can watch it free to air live broadcast on terrestrial television. The race has been broadcasted in full on radio since 1927. Currently, this is done by the BBC and Talksport. This event has fans all over the globe. An estimated 500 to 600 million people follow the Grand National in more than 140 countries. Today is also commemorated as Barber Shop Quartet Day in US. It is a musical one, like its name. This type of music was first documented in the late 1800s. While men waited to get their hair cut, they passed the time by singing and harmonizing songs with the barbers and fellow customers in the shop. From this introduction in classic barber shops until now, barbershop music has become increasingly popular and portrayed in film and television. Even today, talented men and women quartets compete nationally and around the world. And finally, today we are commemorating anniversary of the Battle of Rivers in Costa Rica. This day, also known as John Santa Maria Day, honors the pivotal fight for Costa Rica, as well as a 19-year-old barefooted hero who fought bravely against Nicaragüa's filibuster army and gave his life. The Battle of Rivers occurred on April 11, 1856, the Nicaragüan city of Rivers. In the Costa Rica, the fight is most known for Juan Santa Maria's destruction of the opposing army's citadel. It is regarded as the most significant in the series of wars with profound importance to Costa Rica's national identity. So with this, we shall end the commemorations today. Thank you everyone for joining us, and see you all tomorrow at the same time at 6 o'clock with the same joining link, different commemorations. So before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. And also an important announcement, those who have participated and presented in the 1 week and 1 day international seminar, conference and seminar as part of World Social Work Day celebrations. Already we have generated certificates for those who have completed their formalities. And as already informed, which has been generated by system automatically. We have found that there are a lot of differences in between these forms. That's why system could not automatically generate. And, it takes a lot of time and efforts to manually verify each and everything. That's why we instruct everyone to strictly follow. And we also found that people are not filling the details properly, like their organization details, occupational details, city, and all. If you enter vague details or incomplete details, that also creates problem in generation of certificates. So we request everyone, and this is a final call for everyone. Once certificates are generated, we cannot keep on updating every time. So maybe in a day or two, we'll try to check, because manual verification will take lots of time, which is a constraint for everyone. So we will try our efforts, try to take out some time and check manually and issue all the certificates. So those who did not complete the formalities are requested to complete their formalities. We have observed many presenters also did not fill their feedback forms. So it is mandatory, and try to follow the instructions carefully. Those who will be watching later on YouTube, that's why I'm giving information here as well. Those who are attending and those who are going to watch on YouTube later on, kindly ensure, and those who are asking for certificates, kindly ensure that you are filling up the details properly. We can't help you in making out manually things. So thank you once again. Take care. Good night.